So if we break it down to its fundamentals, fat loss is really a mind shift game. All it is just reframing your mindset and thinking a little bit differently in order to get what you want. So here's 3 mindset shifts that I had to implement and develop in order to lose 30 pounds of fat without spending more time on fat loss. Because everybody's biggest excuse, the number one thing I hear from people is, I don't have time to lose weight. I don't have time to get in shape. So the thing that I ask them when I hop on calls and speak with people is, so how do you have time to gain fat? You don't have time to lose fat, but you have the time to gain fat? It's really doesn't quite really make sense logically if you think about it. If you don't have time to lose fat, then where do you get the time to gain this fat? Because ironically, if I was to argue a position, I would say it takes more time to gain weight. It takes more effort and time to gain fat. So how are you getting more time to gain weight, or at least stay the same weight, but you can't pull out time to lose the weight? That's just a little thing to think about. Let's get into the video. So it's the exact same process. You have the same hours, you have the same days, but just a little bit different choices. Eating takes time. And if we think about it logically, the more you eat, the more time you have to spend on gaining weight. So when I first knew I needed to change, I did what most people do. I negotiated with myself. Oh, I can't give up bread, because bread was like an insane one for me to give up. And I would eat bread like easily 3 to 6 times a day. You know, whether it be pizza, sandwiches. I'm a huge sandwich guy. You know Joey from Friends? Like how in love he is with sandwiches? Yeah, that's me. I would tell myself I love it. I eat it every day. I literally couldn't live without bread. And we all know that, like, you know, once in a while bread is great. But if you eat it 6 times a day, each loaf is like, you know, 400 to 600 calories. That shit's going to stack up. And I didn't want to give that up because I thought I couldn't live without it. And I was eating bagels religiously. Bagels and Italian bread. It's top of my list of favorite things on this planet. So instead of pretending I was special, I ran a simple experiment. I just won't eat today, and I won't eat bread. Let's see if I survive. And then one day turned into 2 days. 2 days turned into 3 days. And now I can go without eating bread for weeks. I used to, because I'm a huge egg guy. I love eggs. Eggs I eat almost every single day for breakfast. And I almost had it programmed in my mind that I couldn't eat eggs without having bread to, you know, pair it with. I'd eat eggs with bread. Then, you know, later for lunch I'd have a sandwich. And then one day I just said, okay, let's just try one day. Let's see what happens. You know, it's the same thing with like quitting cigarettes, for example, or quitting alcohol. Just try one day. Don't worry about, you know, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to give yourself so much anxiety if you're thinking about, oh, I got to today, tomorrow, the next day. Like if you're going to, you know, make your brain think that way, you're never going to do anything. But this is like the little mindset shift that I had. And then it broke into multiple mindset shifts. So, and then I did. And that one day broke the illusion for me. And here are the 3 mental reframes that actually mattered for me. So, this takes time. And that's a good thing. You're not going to lose 20 pounds of fat in 30 days. Right? That's the same fantasy gurus sell with get-rich-quick schemes. Oh, make $10,000 in 30 days guaranteed. With what skills? You don't have any skills. You can't speak, you can't read, you can't write, you don't know how to sell, you don't know how to create an offer. How are you going to just pull 10 grand out of your ass? It's just a fantasy people live. So be sure you can starve yourself for a month. Sorry, not be sure, but sure you can starve yourself for a month and lose 20 pounds because you're eating 0 calories. But then what's going to happen? You also need to function. You need to work, you need to train, you need to live, you need to do things. And calories are just a form of energy. And if you take away energy from your life, then what are you going to do? Nothing. You're going to be miserable, and who wants to lose fat that way? So just reframe in your mind that you didn't gain 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds in a single month. It took time, it took years, it took months. Sure, you can lose it a little bit quicker than you gained it because you gained it unconsciously. But just switching yourself and giving yourself that, okay, it's okay that it's going to take not days, not weeks, but it might take months. And if you're on the heavier side, it might take years, right? Like if you're 300 pounds, you're going to need a couple years. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't try to lose 200 pounds in a year. Well, I wonder actually. Maybe it might not be the brightest idea. Anyway, fat loss that ruins your life isn't progress, it's punishment. So don't punish yourself. Just apply simple steps that will allow you to grow continuously. Number 2, consistency beats perfection every time. This is unarguable fact. You will mess up. No one is asking you to eat like a monk. You don't need to be perfect. Like, you're not Jesus Christ. Let's be honest. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to mess up. You're going to want to have that pizza. You're going to want to have that ice cream. You're going to want to go out with friends and enjoy like a brew or something like that. And it's okay. Live in that peace that it's okay. Because the moment that you adopt a mindset of, oh, I need to be perfect, my diet needs to be 100% on point, then what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to stress yourself out to the point where it's just like, fuck this diet. Fuck this fat loss. I just want to eat what I want. Have the pizza, enjoy the dinner, move on. Make the mistake. It's not a mistake. You're just living. The point is to incorporate fitness into your life so you can make it a lifestyle and you can make it easily accessible and fun. The problem with people is the fact that they think they need to live a miserable life. I live a great life. I'm fucking eating whatever I want, whenever I want. Not whatever, whenever, but you know what I mean. And I'm, 12% body fat. Because like I mentioned, stress plus guilt creates resentment. And resentment is why people quit. Remember that. And lastly, number 3. One small change every 2 weeks. This by far is the biggest hack into changing your life with anything that you want to do, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's faith or health. Excuse me. One small step. Stop trying to rebuild your entire life overnight. This is most people's problems. You're going to see this insanely going to happen now in the next couple of, months. People are going on New Year's resolutions and, I'm going to change my life January 1st. There's a reason most of those people don't last. It's ego that drives them, not discipline. You need to instill discipline, and discipline comes with small steps and habits. Most people try to do everything at once. 10,000 steps, whole foods, lift every single day, sleep 8 hours, eat more protein, cut out carbs, eat more greens, all this shit. And then what happens? They stress themselves out. They're like, oh my God, I can't do all this stuff. There's just too many things. I can't keep up with everything. Like, fuck this, whatever. I'm just going to go back into my routine and lifestyle. That's why you fail, dude. And they wonder why they burn out. Pick one habit, one thing you want to change. Stick to it for 2 weeks. Keep everything else the same. This is the fundamental of psychology, behavioral change. That was worded so weirdly. I don't even know how that came out. And then stack another one once you've committed to that one for 2 weeks, because it's become a habit now, right? Let me give you a perfect example. If you're just starting out, right? If you want my honest recommendation, start with walking. Just start, I'm going to walk 15 minutes every single day for the next 2 weeks. Not going to change anything else. You're just going to add 15 minutes of steps every single day. And this is what I did, right? I was just like, okay, time to incorporate some movement in my life because I'm a fat fuck. I need to, I can't keep looking at myself like this. This is disgusting. I need to do something about it. That was what was going through my head. So I looked at myself and I'm like, okay, let's just start with one thing. Let's just start with walking. Okay, so I walked Monday, walked Tuesday, walked Wednesday. 2 weeks went by, I'm like, okay, time to walk. Like, without thinking about it. Like, I don't need motivation. I don't need, willpower. It was just like, now it's just part of my routine. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what else I can add. Let me think. Okay, let me just add protein to every single meal. And then I'm like, okay, breakfast protein. lunch protein, dinner protein, supper protein. And then just protein became instilled in my brain. I'm like, now walking and protein. Now you're juggling two things at once, right? This is how momentum gets created. Momentum starts with movement. That's why I suggest always start with walking, right? Movement creates motion. Motion creates momentum. And momentum makes everything else easier. It's all the momentum that you want. Fat loss isn't about doing more. It's simply about doing less, better, for long enough. That's the difference. And this is where I want it to hit home for you guys. Because when I was younger, when I really wanted to get into a six-pack, when I really wanted to lose the weight, I thought I needed to do everything perfectly all at once, right? I needed to start strength training. I needed to do all of those things that I had named for you guys earlier. And it was like almost like a checkbox that I had to, okay, just did this, just did this, just did this. And it was just too much. It was just overwhelming. And I felt like I couldn't keep up with everything. But if you stack things, if you just do them one by one, you know, get into the momentum of walking, then get into the momentum of thinking about protein, then get into the momentum about thinking about 7 hours of sleep. You just start living a life that's fitness-based, that's health-based, and that's overall just generically healthy. Right? Then when you're going out to dinner with your friends, you're making healthier choices. Right? Then when you see the stairs versus the elevator, you just subconsciously take the stairs because that's who you are. And you don't dread it. You don't feel like you need to, you know, force yourself or look for motivation, or you need to go watch a motivational video before you go to the gym. It's just who you become. That's why the most powerful thing when you want to get into strength training is just go once. Like, nobody's asking you to sign up for a membership for life. That's why there's free trials. Go once, see how it is. And then the next day, go again. If you don't like it, take a break. Then go again. But it's just those small steps that add up that create massive change. And if you really want massive change, if that's stuck in the back of your subconscious mind, you need to implement it. Because nobody's going to come and, you know, feed you. I don't know how wealthy you are, but you don't have a personal chef. Like, they're not going to calculate your macros. You got to do the work yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you. Create more than you consume, serve others, love everyone. Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you thought and some other mindset shifts that help you overcome your challenges and things that led you to progress. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe. Check out the links below. Peace.